Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mr. here. I'm going to be taking a break for a while, so I decided to just leave a video before I go for the break, and then eventually I'll come back to cover stuff like Office Storages and then the VCall coming up in June. So I just want to know though, do y'all want to see me cover anything from Pre-owned collection? Just leave a comment in the comment section below if you actually like me to do something regarding Pre-owned collection. If not, more rather than not, I'll just build my decks and skip involving actually making a video. So since BSF is around the corner, or for some other places it's already happened, I decided to actually put together a fun little English deck that I got shipped over with some commons and rares. It is Genesis Witches. Now, for those of you who don't actually know, this is a deck that comes from VBT 12, which basically means the last mainline set in V before V was no longer deemed our standard. So this is gonna be commons and rares from one of the strongest sets that left off, and honestly, it kind of shows. This set introduces a lot of very good and generic CNR, and we're also playing some stuff from the new V-Clan collection as well. Well, only about one card and some reprints as well. So it's actually a very cheap deck focusing around the Witch and Sorcerer archetype. I don't even have to tell you, you can just read the cards now for my English speaking audience. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much the introduction. The deck is very straightforward. It's basically this huge turn 3 OTK style deck. If you've played stuff like Sing Saver, Soul Saver, OTK, this is basically it in Genesis with some girls and guys inside, no big dragons. So our grade 3s, we basically play 4 copies of Spiritualist Sorcerer Crowd. Apologies if I'm butchering these names, and 4 copies of White Rainbow Witch Pythera. So I'm still going to read through the skills so you guys know. The grade 3, the main one, this is the main one you will write, is Pythera. Once per turn, this ability's cost is reduced by 1 Soul Blast for each rearguard with Sorcerer or Witch in their name. So you can see this is Sorcerer, this is Witch. I know, new words for me. You can Soul Blast 13 at the end of the turn. All of your Sorcerer and Witch in their names get 10. This unit gains a crit. So basically, this is why the whole deck is soaked with stuff like Witches and Sorcerers. So you basically just have every unit gain plus 10. She gains a crit for the center column, and you just punch your way through. It's a lot better than Soul Saver even, because Soul Saver only gave 15 but no actual crits anywhere. So yeah, this is has a bit more kill potential, although it's much more costlier, and we can sponsor this cost though, so it's not that bad. The second skill is a utility based skill. Counterblast 1, return one of your rare cards with Sorcerer or Witch in its card name to your hand. So basically, you can reuse any on place you wish, which is pretty good. You may be saying, why do I want to reuse an on place? Well, the best example is right here. This guy has a when placed, you soul charge 1 for each of your units, including this unit and your Vanguard. It's a pretty good skill. You never want to write this guy. This is horrible. If you write this, you lose, but you know, in any other situation, calling this is just a great rearguard. It just gives you so much soul charge. It's just good. Moving on to our grade 2s, we carry 2 copies of Falling Star Sorcerer's Vine, 4 copies of Phosphorus Sorcerer Revolta, and 4 copies of Witch of Ravens Chamomile. So let's actually break this down real quick. So Vine really is just here to fill up spots, because you know it is a witch, it is a sorcerer, but Vine actually has a pretty interesting skill. When placed, discard 1 card from your hand, choose a normal unit from your soul and put it in your hand. So basically just toolboxing. It's kind of just like a little budget Glamir. So okay, it's fine. The main guy for the grade 2 lineup has got to be Revolta. Revolta skills: when placed, Counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 from among them to your hand, the rest in your soul. So basically it's a soul charge 2 and a +1 draw. And selected draw at that. I really like it. There's no complaints about this guy. He's a good generic too. Yeah. Last one is someone I really like. It is Chamomile. Soul at the beginning of your battle phase, you Soul Blast a total of 3 or more cards this turn, you can call it to the rearguard. You won't really use this skill for this deck because you Soul Blast 13, which is basically almost your whole soul. But there's chances you don't, and you want to save on hand, you can just call it. Remember that Pythera skill is until the end of turn. So even new sorcerers that appear after the skill has been paid, you do actually get the +10. and that's actually pretty good. But Chow Mao's not just here for a free body. The real threat behind Chow Mao's the second skill. When this unit attacks, you get a free 10k, but in a turn, she must kill herself. So she's basically a 20k body in a deck that you already have so much numbers, it just gets a lot more threatening. Yes, it's a -1, but considering you plan to kill, literally, this is how you do it. Our grade 1s, we carry 4 copies of Mythic Beast Skull, 4 copies of White Brush Witch Arctic, 3 copies of Spring Source Witch Physis, and 4 copies of Supportive Sorcerer Communist. So let's wrap this up. It's really quite simple, honestly. If you see the skills, they're all really easy to understand. Skull is our grade 3 searcher. He's the only non-witch or sorcerer. His plus 5k condition is as long as you soul blast cards. So yeah, pretty easy. You don't really want this around during your turn with Pythera, so you can throw this out in early game, you can ride it. Just try and not have it around because it does not benefit. Physis is our archetype searcher with a twist. If you and your opponent's vanguards have the same grade, you may soul blast 1 for this cost. When placed counter blast 1, look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal 1 with sorcerer or witch in its card name, put it in your hand, the rest go to the bottom, you do not shuffle. Okay, so that is soul blast or counter blast. Usually you prefer the counter blast than using soul blast since the soul blast goes into this thing. But no matter the case, considering that your entire deck is made of the same archetype, you can actually search out a specific piece you want, and that's pretty good. Then in terms of actual soul charging for the grade 1s, we have these two. Communist first. Communist, when placed on a vanguard circle, you put a card from your hand to the soul and you draw. So you soul charge selectively and you draw. So that is pretty good. And you can also make an effort to put your Chow Mao's in the soul. So that's actually pretty cool. Second skill is when placed, you soul charge 1. If your vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you soul charge another 1 and your vanguard gains 5. So literally it's just on your turn 3 because you do remember that this skill requires you to call sorcerers on the turn. So you actually want to save Communist to turn 3, you soul charge 2, you give Pythera an extra 5, which it's better. And now our last grade 1 is a pretty good generic too. It is White Brush Witch Arctic. Arctic, when placed, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put 1 card from among them to the soul, and the last one on top. So you get some basic manipulation. This is a manipulation used quite often, so it is pretty good. Second skill is when you grade 3 or greater vanguard attacks, one of your vanguards, and this unit gains 5. So this unit becomes 13k, and your vanguard gains another 5 as long as during the turn 3 turn, which is your huge Pythera beatdown. So this is where you get extra numbers, it helps. Lastly, our grade 0s, we play the best starter, Incipient Longtail. Really, there is no other alternative. You play 12 crits, including 4 crit sentinels, because you really just want to push the opponent. And you play 4 heals. You're playing this heal because it is actually a witch. It has witch in its name, so it is actually pretty good. Let's actually just wrap this up. This is a pretty good deck overall. It's a really cheap budget deck that I strongly recommend you to pick up if you actually just want something fun. You can play this in either format, honestly, any language. It's really quite cheap altogether. It's mostly made of CNRs. You really can't go wrong with it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.